Hello everyone, it's D to the B back with CyberWorld. CyberWorld taking breaks again has been nice. I've been able to get other content out. It's been amazing. Got a comedy skit out that was originally supposed to come out before episode 8, but then I realized Megatron was in the episode, so I delayed it for another time, and then like an episode later, forgot to delay it again, so it was a bit further, and special released by accident, and for the most part, it was received relatively well for D to the B standards. It's just a funny thing that I thought about remembering one of the CyberWorld toys, and I had a blast making it, and I might have to do more comedy skits, because I have some ideas for Transformers-related comedy skits. One that might also pertain to the Earthspark subject, but we'll wait and see. Speaking of Earthspark, we also got the Earthspark video that came out a couple of days ago because the news was confirmed that Earthspark was returning, which I already knew was going to happen. I remember seeing a calendar thing with their slots, and apparently no one paid attention or saw this thing because everyone is shocked that Earthspark was returning to the TV screens. Or they were paid to pretend. It either could be a possibility at this point, but got relatively viewed well, which I'm shocked happened because the last Earthspark video I did not do well in views when it compared to the first two videos that I did, which was the Optimus Rants episode 1, which I that series back, no joke. I want to bring it back so bad. And then also the first Earthspark video that I did. They were viewed pretty well back in the day, but the second season, or at least part 1 of season 2, was not reviewed well. Granted, I had a bunch of backorder stuff in production, and also I wanted to get the video out very, very, very soon. So I did kind of rush that video, and fortunately the video kind of paid the price. I also want to remaster season 2. Some of the audio in season 2, I hate it so much. But yeah, it was relatively viewed well for D to B standards. It was almost close to hitting 500. No joke. I got 100 views per day for the amount of days that it was up for a while. It went from 100, then 200, then 300, then 400, and now it's just stuck on limbo and will probably not make it to 500, but that is the YouTube algorithm for you. YouTube is very picky which videos will do well and which ones will not do well, but oh well. But enough about this tangent. I am here to talk about episode 10 of CyberWorld, and it's not the worst episode. The worst one was definitely last week's, or the last episode that came out, because that was such a really dumb episode that story was. Like, the fact that they just straight up went to go attack Scorponok without any proper plan that could have helped them, possibly had better of a chance, but Optimus is like, no, just B, you do it, is basically how it is, even though it's written to be like, I trust you, B, you can do this, but it's just like, here, B, you do it. It's just that. It was a stupid idea for you to pick B. Optimus then says it's not completely your fault, and then we see Chop Shop enter the scene, where then girl boss Alita manages to corner Chop Shop and point her gun at him, and Chop Shop is just scared because he's about to be shot by Alita and is captured by the Autobot, but then he notices that B is powering up from the boost that he just got to repair himself. Chop Shop tells them about a mystical item, and Alita was about to deal with Chop Shop, but Bumblebee then decides he'll take care of the job. And what will he do with Chop Shop? He listens to Chop Shop. And I know the big reveal at the end of the episode, So we'll keep reviewing. I won't complain that B is an idiot, especially with the reveal. Let me finish the story. So what happens next after they enter the temple? The door appears to be closed and they don't know a way to get in. So Chop Chop then rolls into it and creates a hole in the door and says, then B and Chop Chop go into the temple, and Chop Chop help Bumblebee with some of the traps in the temple. And Bumblebee is walking through the temple. Bumblebee runs into a Cybertronian corpse. I did not expect them to do this. I mean, they're the same people who killed Wheeljack supposedly off screen, and has been a dumb kid nonsense show so far, which I get it. You have to have shows for kids. I'm not against having shows for kids. I just think they need to be written better, because if we want the next generation to flourish, we need to stop feeding them stupid nonsense like Coco Melon and this. This is like the first time that the show actually sort of took itself seriously. So I'll give a point to it. Still don't think the episode's that good. It gets a point. Then, at some point, Chop Chop leaves Bumblebee, and Bumblebee is on his own, and somehow Chop Chop has gotten, to a command bay of this temple, and is guiding Bumblebee through the rest of it, where then he eventually heads to the destination, which then, once he lifts this object, which is, of course, a rock. We did this for a rock. But anyway, we continue on with the rest of the plot. B grabs the rock, and then it's similar to Indiana Jones in a way, but of course B doesn't think of anything to replace the object. He just takes it, and then a trap springs. And also we have another Indiana Jones moment where he slides over and he forgets the rock, so then he tries grabbing the rock, but there are multiple of them, so he has to. And then another trap decides to activate. What is it exactly? It's hot lava. And B tries getting out of there as fast as he can. B then drives off and then meets Chop Chop, where the door is slowly closing. And B has to lift the door, and Chop Chop is like, give me the rock and I'll help you. And B does it. And then Chop Chop just leaves him behind, which I figured he would, but I'm not going to complain yet. Let's continue on with the episode first. So then the door gets closed and B is stuck with the lava that is slowly approaching him. Actually, no, fastly approaching. And B then takes a lesson from Chop Chop. Make your own doorway if one isn't available. So he crashes on the left side of the temple wall and creates a new entryway where the lava is following him, and then he manages to escape, and then B and girl boss Lita are right there questioning his decision to go by himself with Chop Chop, and then B reveals that he had the real thing the whole time, and he said that he was planning for Chop Chop to betray him, so he grabbed a rock, two different rocks, even though there's one problem with this. The footage that shows him grabbing the rock isn't there. He doesn't grab multiple, he only grabs one. And this rock turns out to be some sort of power boost, and Optimus grabs it and gets powered up in some way. And what is this mystical power up? It kind of looks like a T-Cog a little bit, but it can't be a T-Cog because they can already transform, and it also looks like a little bit Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs from the Raimi films. We don't know what this thing is. Will it be explored? I don't know. Who cares? And then it ends off with Chop Chop trying to reveal the power-up's form, but then he realizes he got tricked, and then that is the end of the episode. Oh yeah, definitely not the worst episode, but it is not a good episode either. Seriously, why can't we have a decent episode again? It's been 4 episodes since episode 6. I mean, does that mean that episode 12 is going to be secretly a masterpiece or something like that? I don't know. to be honest. I mean, we have 2 episodes until 12. We'll have to see if it continues with the trend with the 6th episode of a batch is better than the rest of the other show. I very much doubt it. I think the Starscream one is going to be the only one, and I also think if Starscream returns, they're going to ruin it. Honestly, at this point, Hasbro, if you do another miniseries, just do a Starscream spinoff. I think it would be interesting to have a miniseries of Starscream constantly trying to betray Megatron. Even though I'm not a huge fan of G1 Starscream, yes, I said it, fight me. Anything has to be better than CyberWorld at this point. And also, it could actually work for you better in this limited amount of time, because it could be like a Looney Tunes type show for Starscream, especially how often he tries betraying Megatron and fails every single time. At this point, just do a Starscream miniseries. It will probably be way better than this show is. This show is trying to build up a story and an epic conclusion, but it is failing with how short these episodes are. It doesn't have the momentum to hold a big story like this. Maybe you should have done 10-minute episodes, which have been slightly better. But nah, you don't want to do that. That's too much work, Hasbro. Who cares about writing good shows for kids? We could do garbage miniseries that don't do enough runtime to build the story you're building up. But that's just me. What did you feel about the new CyberWorld episode? Tell me in the comments. And with that out of the way, always criticize and rise up.